Foundations of Amateur Radio. In the past little while you've heard me talk about WSPR, Weak Signal Propagation Reporter, and I've told you about signals I've heard across the planet. The longest distance at the time was a HF report, 18,656 kilometres from Perth to Pennsylvania. Very nice indeed. I switched to monitoring 6 metres, 2 metres and 70 centimetres about a month or so ago. My reports had been pretty minimal, from my QTH to the suburb next door, and then 2 suburbs away. Proof that a station is working, but hardly anything to celebrate or even mention. The other day I came across a report a little further away, Perth to Adelaide, 2,142 kilometres away. Not world record beating or even earth shattering, but proof that 6 metre propagation does have its moments now and then. Then a surprise contact, Perth to The Rock. Not the one in the middle or the one with the wave, the one on the Olympic Highway between Wagga Wagga and Albury, 2,899 kilometres away, with 20 watts on 6 metres. My reports aren't particularly far or amazing. You might recall Wally VK6YS, who made a contact on 6 metres between Perth and Israel. He'd been at it for a little while, longer than I've been an amateur, but not quite as long as I've been the apple in the eye of my mother. 38 years it took for Wally to make that contact. So why am I making any mention of my little achievement? Simple really. My station and Wally's station are nothing alike. He had a large beam on 6 metres located on a property with few noise sources, and his patience paid off. My station consists of a 10 metre antenna. That is, it's not 10 metres tall, it's resonant on 10 metres, and happens to also manage 2 metres. I've not actually checked to see what 6 metres on this antenna looks like, perhaps a project for another day. But it sits there, clamped to a metal pergola at the peak of a corrugated iron roof and connected via 20 metres or so of RG58 coax. Cheap RG58 coax, connected to my radio that I use to host F-Troop most weeks. I have to restart my WSPR node monitoring software several times a week, since the Windows XP Notepad computer it's running on crashes regularly. I have to remember to open the squelch when I finish F-Troop and connect the WSPR node back up, and I have to make sure that there's enough empty disk space to make sure that I can actually log stuff. This isn't a sob story, woe is me, my station isn't a massive station. It's more about that you can achieve these kinds of things with small and minimal resources. One of my friends is doing really well with a USB TV dongle decoding WSPR on a Raspberry Pi. Others are using thousands of dollars of gear and everything in between. The point is that you too can get started without massive expense. A simple radio, something to run WSPR, which can be a Raspberry Pi, an antenna of sorts, and you're on the way to check out what propagation is like around your QTH in your neck of the woods. Amateur radio doesn't have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be extensive. It doesn't even have to be elaborate. It can just be enough. I'm Ono, Victor Kilo 6 Foxtrot Lima Alpha Bravo.